Hey everyone, we are back. It is Tracie Schmidt, mortgage lender with the Schmidt team at Supreme Lending, and I am here with the amazing Yasmine. Take a second, Yasmine, and introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Yasmine Austere, and I'm a realtor in the San Francisco East Bay. And I've been doing that since 1998.
You're like, wait a second.
Yes, 26 years. So I'm like, wait.
I mean, seriously, working with the two of us, you get over 50 years of experience, which is that doesn't happen often in the real estate market. So, and we come to you weekly because we want to provide value to the people that are watching, or you happen to scroll on YouTube or Facebook. And it's really, we each week we take one question and we ask Yasmine about what she does with a seller and then how she works with buyers. And then I give a little bit of either a market update or a mortgage product update. So we're going to jump right into it, Yasmine. And the first question is going to be talking about home buyers. If you could give an example of a time when you went above and beyond, and there might be a different definition for people of what that means, but
Yeah.
if you could give us one example, because I know you always go above and beyond for your clients, but what's that one time you want to share with everybody?
This is actually perfect timing today for this question because I'm working with an out-of-town client. I mean, he doesn't live too far away, but we identified a property and he wasn't quite sure if he wanted to see it. So my first step in going above and beyond is I, by myself, drive out to the property. I take a property video. I go through the house. I identify my concerns because I'm not here to make things glamorous. That's where they have their rose-colored glasses on. I am here to identify potential issues or things that need to get done in the future. So typically I go out to the house, I preview, and I point out a few concerns. If even with the concerns, the seller then says, and sometimes I even say, I don't think this house is for you, but, I'd still love to meet. So with that said, so I take a video and I send it to them, and then we book an appointment and we go through the house step by step. So we identify the interior condition, exterior condition. Right now, the property that we are looking at has no inspections. So we solely rely on my experience and the potential experience of my home buyer to identify, what are we looking at in regards to spending money? And,
Yeah.
sometimes it could just be minor. And of course, inspections will be very beneficial after we go into contract, but we need to have an idea, to structure our contract. So
Yeah.
my thing is always, be at the property, be as engaged as you can. I'm not a paper pusher. So, many people still think we just open the door and write a contract and otherwise we do nothing. No, I'm very, very engaged with my experience and having done remodels myself. I feel that I'm really, really a true asset when it comes to home buyers deciding which property to pick.
Yeah, and that's really, yeah, that is going above and beyond because I mean, for you to do all of that before you even potentially meet with the client, and sign an agreement to work together, you're really showing that you go above and beyond in that extra effort. So I know
Well,
that,
in today's market, we can't, it's
okay,
like, I don't, no. I do, I have met with the clients prior, we have an
got it.
understanding. And so, yeah, I
Okay.
do not work without an agreement.
You're like, wait a second. No, I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, people, this is your career. This is what your livelihood is based on. And you definitely want to ensure that the time and effort that you're putting in, a buyer or a seller respects that. And I feel the same way. And sometimes people just think that we just do our jobs because we do our jobs, but it's how we, pay our bills and our expenses.
Yeah,
And sometimes we could work with a buyer. For me, I know, I mean, it's been a year, let's say, where, things have changed or their job has changed and you're communicating with them for an entire year before you could even have a transaction or nothing at all.
right.
So I totally appreciate that. Let's talk about shift gears and talk about sellers because I know, there's so many real estate agents out there and they promote all of these things that they do for a home seller. But what do you do like differently or that makes you different from other agents when we talk about like staging or preparing a home for sale? How do you stand out in that regard?
So I also have an example for that right now.
Let's do it.
As I'm getting my first 2025 home ready for the market. So the sellers have already purchased a home in another area with me. And so they are gone. In the beginning, we worked very closely together to identify what do we want to do. And they decided they wanted new bathrooms, new kitchen, new flooring, new paint, exterior paint, all of those things. And since they are gone, I am here to project manage. Is it
Oh,
a standard? No, it depends. You know, if the sellers still live there, I come once to twice a week to look at the progress, or we decide on finishes together, or fixtures, or what sells better in today's market, if with vanities, or should we paint the kitchen cabinets white, or should we go with a trendy, the finishes in brass, or black, whatever it might be. I am very, very hands-on when it comes to getting the house ready for the market. And I do bring a stager very early in the process who also provides me with an interior designer who has all the newest finishes and ideas for staging. So the
awesome.
combination, the three of us on how to achieve the best and highest possible price is really dependent on those factors coming together. And I really thrive on being there when we prepare the
It
house.
sounds so fun. I mean, and when you see homes that are empty, or when the seller just has all of their stuff in it, it's right, it's hard for buyers to kind of imagine themselves in that home, especially if it's a country style home or a modern style home. So you
Yeah.
really do need to have an eye for what's working in the market in that specific neighborhood and area. And then, what we think potential home buyers would like to see when it comes
Yeah,
to
and the other thing is, sometimes we go on broker tour or to open houses, and we see the same staging, the same houses, the same finishes, because I try to be creative. Like some finishes that we chose, a stager might say, oh, let's just go with a standard. And I'm like,
Mhm.
no, let's stand out with a certain finish or a certain color, or let's make
Yeah,
something a little bit different. So I work very closely with the stagers, the designers, the homeowners, and the construction team. So
that's
I'm a
awesome.
one-woman stop.
I love your one woman stop. I love it. And I wanted to talk a second because, people that want to buy a home or people that sell a home and look to buy a home, one of the biggest questions I always get is about credit. And, especially with the holidays coming up and people using their credit cards, and does that affect their credit score or not? So I wanted to talk really quick just about a service that I provide to my clients called a rapid rescore if it's necessary. I don't know if you've ever heard of that term or not, but so we have the ability when we review credit to analyze potential points that could increase with their credit score. That could help them either get into a better program, get a better interest rate. So some lenders, or most lenders, will pull your credit and say, here's what you get. I'll
Right.
really look at it and see, is there potential for you to move your score in a positive way? What could you do? What could you possibly pay down, pay off? A lot of people think they have to pay off all of their credit, right? Which is untrue. That could impact your score negatively. So I'll
Right.
look at that for people and see, could they do these specific things? And then instead of waiting 90 days for it to catch up on the credit report, we can actually go to the bureaus and get something done within about 72 hours if we needed that in order to affect the transaction positively. So I just wanted to
That's
throw that out there.
amazing.
Yeah. So, like what you do, right, with your services and how you stand out, that's one of the things that I do with my clients that kind of put in that extra effort, right? So, if you have a 680 credit score, but I know a 720 could get you a better interest rate, I'm going to have that conversation with you if you were my client, Yasmine, and let you know the things that you could potentially do, or not do, right? Don't touch anything. Just leave it the way that it is.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
Do you have any questions on that, or
No,
does that
I
make sense?
love it. I love it. And I'm going to follow up with you on that
Good.
to get a better understanding and be able to refer, clients to you, especially
Yeah.
with listings coming up and doing open houses. And it's always helpful to come up with a creative solution for
Yep.
maybe a disenchanted buyer, who
Yeah.
feels like, oh, interest rates, but I love this house. And that's why you are my number one person.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. And let's, yeah, follow up for sure. And you have to definitely share with us the next time, like after you have that house staged and all of that stuff for your client. We would love to see
Oh,
some photos of that. So
yes, I'm very
awesome.
excited.
All right. Well, we'll talk to
Well,
you soon. See you
okay,
next week.
talk to you soon.
Okay.